Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the last video, we have taken some examples to understand about the group by clause, but in this video, we will take some more examples to understand about the having clause. So having clause is basically generally used with your group by clause, and we will take some examples to understand it, and we will see that how it works. So as of now, you can see that our sales database is already selected. I will again run a simple select statement to see the dataset that we are going to use. So select star from dbo.sales. And I will select this statement and I will simply execute it. So this is the data that we have. Now let's say, first of all, again, the requirement given to you is that we need to find out the total quantity, total sales, average quantity, and average sales for each distinct product ID. So you are told that you need to find total sales, average sales, total quantity, and average quantity for each distinct product. This is the ask. So what we can write select. I'll write it in the next line probably. So select product ID, comma, enter, sum of, in the brackets. We can probably, first of all, let's write select star, right? Because then IntelliSense will show us the various columns that we can choose from. So first of all, we can write select star from dbo.sales. Then just before the from keyword, press enter, bring it to next line. Before the star, press enter, bring it to next line. Remove the star and now write the names of the columns. So we want product ID to be there in the output. The moment we will type 2-3 characters, IntelliSense shows us the possible options that we can choose from. I will choose product ID from here, comma. After that, we have to find out the sum of the total amount. So we'll write sum, bracket open, bracket close, then write the name of the total amount column. And you can probably provide it an alias. You can write the alias in the square brackets. You can write sum of sales, then comma, press enter, sum, bracket open, bracket close, quantity. And then inside these square brackets, we can write total quantity. Then after this, comma, press enter, come to the next line. Then we have average. So we can write AVG, bracket open, bracket close. Then we have total amount. So inside these square brackets, we can write average or AVG amount, comma, press enter, come to the next line. And then again, AVG, bracket open, bracket close, quantity. In these square brackets, you can write average quantity. Average quantity. All right. So this will give us the total sales value, total quantity sold, and average sales value and average quantity sold for each one of the product IDs. So let's select this statement and execute it. So now this is not getting executed because again, we have missed the group by clause. So I'll come to line number 12, press enter, and we will write group by. And the next line, I will write specify the name of this product ID column because it is present in the select statement and there is no aggregation being used on product ID column. So in the group by clause, we will write product ID because we need to give this instruction to SQL Server that distinct groups are to be created for each one of the product ID and then following aggregated values are to be shown. So I will select the statement written from line 6 to 14 and will then execute it. And now you can see that it shows the output, right? Now we have 3 distinct products, and for each one of the products, you can see that we have different sales values. So for the first product, if you look at the total, sum of the sales column, then you will see that for product ID 1, the total sales value was equal to 720. while for product ID 2, it was 630, and then for product ID 3, the value was 675. Now let's say, what if the requirement changed a little bit and you are told that the data should be displayed or data should be shown only for those product IDs which have sales value less than 700. So in that case, we will have to use the having clause. So how we may use that? So the statement that we have already written, we will simply modify this statement, and after the group by clause, we will simply write having, like I'm writing on the screen now, you can see it. So having, we have this column that is sum of sales. So we can write having sum of total amount less than, let's say, 700. So if I will now execute the statement written from line 6 to 15, so you will see that the data is only being shown for product IDs 2 and 3 because only these two product IDs are having sum of sales as less than 700. Now let's say there is one more condition that we want to apply, and we want to say that we want to display only those records where the total sales is less than 700 and the total quantity sold has to be equal to 21, right? So there are two conditions now. So you will have to put these two conditions in the having clause. So in the having clause, just after the sum total amount condition, we will use AND operator, and we will say that the sum of quantity has to be equal to 21. So now we will select the statement written from line 6 to 15, and we will simply execute it. So you can see that the data is now being represented only for that product ID which is having sum of sales is less than 700 and which is having sum of quantity to be equal to 21. So we can use having clause in these type of situations because at times there are circumstances and conditions where we have to filter the grouped records. So we were using group by to filter the records in the table. Now once we get the output of those grouped records, we may want to apply the condition on the grouped records. So for that purpose, we use having clause. For example, if I will execute the statement, select statement right from line number 6 to 14, if I'll select only this part, which is highlighted in blue as of now on the screen, and if I'll execute it, you will see that it shows us the output for each one of the product ID, right? So basically, in our DBO sales table, we were having more records. So let's say if I'll select this statement written in line number 3, and if I'll execute it, so you will see that in the DBO sales table, we were having a total of 10 records, but we created a distinct group for each one of the product ID, and then certain total quantity values, total sales values were being shown, right? If I'll execute this part written from line 6 to 14 and this DBO sales part together, Control R, if I'll execute this much part together, which is highlighted in blue as on screen, so if I'll execute it, then you can see that in the beginning, our table was having 10 records, while in the next output, we are having the data aggregated for 3 product IDs, right? So we basically grouped the records. In the second output, you can see that we grouped the records by using the group by clause, right? But it might be required to apply the conditions, certain conditions on the grouped records. So whenever it is required to apply certain conditions on the grouped records, we use the having clause along with the group by clause. And let's say if you are interested in filtering the records in the table itself, then for that purpose, you can use where clause. So that is one of the difference between the having and the where clause as well. And that is also an important interview question and can be asked in the interviews. So I will write, I will take this example to explain this, and we can take some more examples to understand more about having clause. So in the upcoming sessions, we will discuss about more questions. We will take more examples to understand this better. And I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.